Welcome back, Nick Lenz, Comic Corner Classics Non-Classic. This is episode number 707 and Doubleshot number 611. Like I said last episode, one Marvel trade and an Image trade. The other one, I'm kind of glad I decided not to do for the thumbnail because some of you probably have no idea what the heck this series is. But this first one you may have heard of. This is Marvel Studios' Avengers Infinity War Prelude, which contains the two-issue miniseries by Willow Carter Pellegrin, well, actually the Iron Man 3 Prelude miniseries, plus Infinity #1 and Thanos A #1. In this Prelude, they kind of basically, the first issue picks up right where Cap is last seen in Captain America Civil War, where he talks to T'Challa, which is a scene that's actually not from the film. It kind of seems like this was a deleted scene, but yeah, it's kind of like bonus content. That's what you can tell by this miniseries. And then they actually showed the breakout scene that they did not show in Civil War because it was shown like a brief image, and that was here. They actually show the breakouts, and then they take, of course, Bucky Barnes to Wakanda, gets frozen, and that's pretty much it. That's mostly it just kind of loose takes place during the end of Captain America Civil War. They do change one line of dialogue where they said, now in the film, Tony Stark said about Bucky, he says he killed my mom, and here he says he killed my parents. I don't really know why in the world they changed that line for. It's really bizarre. Yeah. The final issue in here, the second issue, just kind of, well, the rest of this just kind of picks up like right after the events of Civil War, like prior to the events of Infinity War, where they have Cap, Falcon, and Natasha just basically continue Avengers work. And this other one, believe it or not, actually takes place during Thor Ragnarok, which is really weird. Yeah, because it simply put what Doctor Strange was up to prior to his brief cameo in Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, that's what technically this one shot is. So they do kind of give a recap of exactly what's been going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe since, well, First Avenger. Yeah, that's simply put what this is. Yeah, it's basically Walmart copying everything from First Avenger, mostly from First Avenger, and of course the two Avenger films, and of course they have this brief scene with Thor. Really good. Infinity #1, it's a fantastic first issue of a really underrated crossover from 2013. Yes, by the way, anybody who's seen Infinity War, probably don't know about this. The scene where Ebony Maw is torturing Doctor Strange, that actually is from the Infinity comic book, where instead of basically using needles, he uses his fingers. And the famous moment in the trailers, those two people seen from the movie, where the Hulk crashes through the Sanctorum, in the comic book Infinity Gauntlet, that was actually the Silver Surfer. I get the reasoning for that change because Fox owns Silver Surfer. Yep. But if you read this first issue from this particular tree, yeah, I kind of want to read more of this because this is a really dang good storyline. I love Infinity. It's a really good crossover. Very underrated. Yeah, not people talk about it because people don't like Marvel's crossovers because they use them so much. The Thanos Annual, which, those of you curious though, who does his annual? Why, the creator of Thanos himself, Jim Starlin. Yep, he does the annual. Yeah, it's mostly kind of a recap of Thanos' back history. Yes, mostly a recap of what Thanos has been up to since mostly his debut. Yeah, and the artwork is done by Rob Lem, who actually did the Thanos one-shots that Jim Starlin did. Yeah, here's some sample artwork. This is really, really good. The artwork in the pages of Infinity, that's done by, if I can find the page here, that's done by Jim Chung. Also, the Infinity one had these white pages. Yeah, some people didn't like this. I didn't mind this at all. It basically gives people a breathe, okay, relax, and boom, more action. Yep. But this is fantastic. Unlike the other Preludes, which just felt like readaptations of the previous films, this one was really, really good. It expanded upon stuff that happens in the film, that happens between the films, which is something a Prelude should do. And I'm going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's really, really good. Next up is a comic book that when I checked this out from the library, you're like, ew, this title is so gross. and it's Snotgirl. Yep, the first trade for Snotgirl, written by Brian Lee O'Malley. And artwork by Leslie Hume. The main character of the series is Lottie. Yeah, it's implied she might be bisexual in the series, and the reason why she's called Snotgirl, or at least Snotty, is because she has apparently problem with her nose, where apparently it gets frequently stuffed up with snot. So yeah, it's an odd little series, but I gotta praise the writer for this. At least knows how to write he knows how to write women who are in college. When I was reading the dialogue, yeah, this kind of sounds like how a woman would talk in real life. Yes. I want to be nice to this book. I'm going to get this book roughly a 9 out of 10. Not much else to say, but it's actually pretty good. Would I review the second trade? Maybe. Yeah, and by the way, the guy who wrote this is the guy who wrote Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Yep. So, yeah, that's it for this episode. Next episode, believe it or not, more Brian K. Vaughan trades. And it's from a series that's critically acclaimed and still publishing right now. I think it just passed issue 50 just recently. Okay, and that'll be handled in the next episode, which will be episode number 708, and Doubleshot number 612. Okay, well, until you see the next episode, bye.